Right now, we are entering day 4 of the federal police takeover, and already President Trump is suggesting it could be extended.
We're going to want extensions. I don't want to call national emergency. If I have to, I will. People are feeling safe already. I've had so many calls. Thank you, sir. Thank you. They were afraid to walk out. They're not afraid anymore.
Right now, we're seeing even more federal officers on the streets. President Trump now says they'll be patrolling 24/7 and not just at night.
Want to show you the scene last night. This is a security checkpoint along 14th Street in Northwest where protesters gathered around these federal agents. We're told at least one person was arrested. Now it comes as the president doubles down, as Wisdom said, on his view of crime in D.C. Now he claims the city has, quote, one of the highest rates of crime in the world and that violent crime has doubled over the past decade.
But as we've been reporting, D.C. police and FBI data shows that violent crime is actually down over the last 2 years. Here at WSA 9, we are committed to helping you sort fact from fiction during this uncertain time. And that continues this morning with our Jacqueline Quinn, who is live on the National Mall.
Jackie, so many neighbors have questions about what's happening right now and about their rights.
Good morning, and we want to give you an idea of what it actually looks like out here on the National Mall and what we're seeing. You know, right here we're seeing National Guard members, men in uniform out there with the truck parked right here on 7th. And just so you know, this is between the U.S. Capitol and the Washington Monument. So certainly if you look around, you're not seeing those patrols, but you're seeing this presence out here. And at the same time, we know a lot of people have questions. And so we want to tackle some of those questions, what you need to know if you're stopped, and the role of federal agents, whether it's the DEA or a National Guard, their role in policing. One of the major shifts is security checkpoints. Now, we captured one at 14th Street in Northwest near V and W Street. Starting today, federal patrols will continue throughout the day. So what does this mean for you? The National Guard says their job is to protect lives and property during major disturbances, but they're working with police, not acting as the police.
There may be some other federal agents, FBI, DEA, they may have the power to arrest, but I guess in an ideal world, they would be working closely hand in glove with the DC police. And it would be the police who are making the actual arrests if necessary.
If you're stopped by a federal agent, DC's ACLU Executive Director Monica Hopkins says you have the right to remain silent, refuse searches of yourself and your car or home, and ask for a lawyer immediately. You can also record officers as long as you don't interfere with their work.
If you are not being detained, you do have the right to walk away. So you can say, am I being detained? And the officer says no. You can tell them what you are going to do. I am going to walk away.
Now, some of you may have seen this video. A man sitting on his stoop in a DC neighborhood when U.S. Park Police come up questioning him about smoking.
Well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flash right. So I didn't realize it was just a cigarette, so that's on me. I appreciate you understanding.
In the district, smoking marijuana on your own property is legal, and under DC law, the smell alone isn't enough to suspect a crime. The ACLU says this is exactly the kind of moment residents should understand their rights. And we have been covering what happens to those who were unhoused, as under this order, those encampments have to be cleared out. So at least one council member in D.C. and a housing advocate says that those who are unhoused may be targeted. So they are putting that warning out for tonight. Now, in case you need this number or it's somebody that you know, there is an emergency shelter hotline. It is 202-399-7093 in case you didn't have a pen. 202-399-7093 live out here on the National Mall. I'll send it back to you guys.